So it's December 3rd, 2020, and somehow there's still no snow anywhere, but the ground is frozen, so I can ride at Naughton and not do damage to the trails because they're pretty much dry. This is a really weird experience because the ground is so much harder than in the summer. You feel everything. The dirt has a weird texture too. It's more porous than usual, but it's frozen that way. So you get even more grip than you're used to. And like here, there's basically mud, but it's solid. Right around this time last year, I think actually it was the 1st of December last year, it was Global Fat Bike Day, and we were actually riding the snow out at Kiwi Park. Let's see what one of the muddiest spots this fall looks like, or it was the muddiest this fall. Yeah, even this is solid. It's still mud, but it's frozen. This is really cool. We got this little feature on Pinnacle that I helped to build. I was so pumped when we were building it. Finally have features like this. They're not huge, but they are on a green trail. So it's something for people to work on. I'm also surprised that at this temperature, my suspension's actually working really well. I don't think I've actually really ridden this shock in the cold. The last time I rode this bike at these temperatures, I had my old RockShox Monarch on it. And it slowed right down. Same fork though, with different internals. And the other nice thing is my dropper post works flawlessly right now. My old reverb would have been a rigid seat post, I think. This is a 1-up. I was curious on the state of the whale tail feature. I was afraid to try it yesterday, which is why I skipped the trail entirely, just in case there was a frost buildup on top of it. I didn't want to slide out on the wood. I've done that one too many times. Years and years ago, I had a trip out to Mont Saint Anne in Quebec, and the first day we were there, it was raining a lot. And I remember I got on the one wooden bridge, which I think I had a couple of boards missing, so I tried to bunny hop over the gap, and as soon as my front tire hit the wood on the other side, my tire just disappeared from underneath me. I ended up sliding out, landed on my chest. Didn't quite knock the wind out of me, but it certainly hurt. So I didn't want to repeat that on Double Down. But I'll go check it out. I'll be climbing the trail so I can at least have a peek at the wood. I don't know if I want to try the Preacher's Bench. Yeah, the landing's good. This bridge is clear. Ah, the whale tail looks great. There's a deer over there. You probably can't see it, but I can. I just heard a noise in the bush and I see a big bright bushy tail. Here, oh, there's the deer. There's two of them. Oh no, there's mud here. It's actually mostly frozen. I'll be able to ride right through it. It looked worse than it was. When you're riding down Double Down, just know that when you see that last bridge I went over, there's a feature coming up. There's signs pointing it out too. I believe there's even a Proline sign, although I think it's not that scary. And you access this trail either by climbing it like I just did, or at the end of your ride. Once you come down from the top part of the trail system, you come down onto North Shore and you'll see a Double Down sign which takes you to the right here, or you could go left here into a little bit more of a gnarly descent. This was the natural direction of the trail beforehand, and this will bring you onto Penthouse. But you got some major renovations here. I think most people already know about this. It's actually featured on a little snippet from GMBN recently with a fox, where the rider came down here, ended up overshooting the jump a little. I just cased that a bit. Haven't jumped that in a month. Now that trail continues and it's still a good time all the way down. A bit of climbing, but you get to some really gnarly rocky stuff. Here's our 13 or so foot long table that I just cased. I wasn't really brave enough to try and gap it yesterday because it was about 8 o'clock, so it was quite dark. I'll try to set up the camera and jump this a few times. I think the lip of the jump may have melted a little more than I remember. I gotta go a little quicker. Feels good to be getting this off the ground. So after taking my camera out and setting it up like that, I realized that I was on linear field of view. So I fixed that, and now we're on a wide angle. So maybe you will have seen the deer after all. This is kind of what it looks like when you're just doing laps over the tabletop. You end up climbing over here. You have the option of climbing all the way up the rock, but I find if you just come up here, get a little bit of speed, and then coast, you end up getting the perfect amount of speed for the jump. Although maybe not quite so much anymore. Like I said, the lip is kind of, seems like it's melted down a bit. Here's a particularly rough section. This is really fun when you take the straight line through it like that. Oh, hard to see when it's this cold. My eyes are watering. There's so much traction right now. These wood chips aren't even slowing me down. It's great. I wish the wood chips could stay frozen all year. It's funny right now too. Some of the muddier spots, the way that they froze is kind of like little fingers sticking out. They slow you down, but they don't really stick. They're just a really crunchy thing that you have to get through. Makes for some interesting noises. feels really cool. Skinny line, which is something I never really cared for before, but I actually enjoy this now. Probably because I actually make it most of the time. This will be the one time that I don't, because I'm videoing. Wonder if this will be open in the winter. Yeehaw! That's not too skinny of the skinny. So now we're at the entrance to Brownie Points, and to the left is Wheel Breaker. I'm gonna go down this way to see what it looks like, and then we'll end up just on top of the downhill section of Wheel Breaker. Ooh, that corner's a little sketch. There's a ice puddle there. Oh, this feels amazing. Oh, somebody fixed that too. That was a big mud hole. That's some nice rock work. Don't know who to credit for that, but thank you. How's this? This is really bad. Still bad. That was me crashing through ice. There was definitely some water underneath that. So yesterday there was a bit of ice in a couple spots here. One of them being right here, and I go around it. I think the rest is okay. There's like one little spot coming up. There, right here. And then the rest is fine. I didn't get to fly through here, but still a good showcase of one of the best trails here. At least that's what most people say. Just a good 30 to 45 seconds of downhill, I think. I never actually timed the downhill section. Now we're on to Pacemaker. This trail got some major updates this year. It was one of the first trails to actually see any attention. So there was a bit of rerouting to kind of fix the flow of the trail. Here's some big ice. I think I might ride that line from now on, because that was always awkward with the mud. Here's some more ice. So there's reroutes coming up, but beforehand there's kind of something Dan was talking about a lot. At the very least, just the year before, he was planning on putting in a jump or two off to the side of the trail, and that was Naughton's first airborne feature. It's actually a gap, but it's a relatively safe one. I know some people have definitely taken a spill on it, but if you have a decent speed, even if you just roll off of it, you should be okay. The landing doesn't have like a face you kind of just fall onto it. The landing needs a bit of work after this season, because people always grab a fistful of brake as soon as they land, because there's a corner right after it. Myself included. So right now, if you jump more to the right, you avoid the hole that was dug from all the landings. Now the faster line is definitely the left line, and it's a lot of fun, but I'm here to show you what's new. So again, there's pro line signs. Let me show you where not to go if you don't feel like it. See, I barely did anything there, and it landed super smooth. On the camera, it probably can't even detect the drop to the ground. Definitely not a big jump, but it's enough to get you excited, especially if you've never done anything like that before. You know, a lot of people were buzzing off of that on the adrenaline and whatnot, especially the ones that kind of landed squirrely. Seen a few landings where they were kind of no-footed landings, skipping and hopping, not falling though. I think it was a partridge. All right, so here it is. So this is off of Heartbreaker. I believe Kevin was the one that coined the term. Well, we've taken to calling this the coronary bypass. So kind of playing off of the Heartbreaker thing. Now I'm taking kind of an alternate line right now. The rock rolls usually a little straighter, but this one lines you up for the drop back into the ski trail here a little better. And that's I don't know, good 40 feet of elevation gone in a second. It is pretty fun though. It also sets you up to climb the backside of Dropout, which I find is an easier climb than if you were to follow Heartbreaker all the way through and climb it from the other end. This just gets you up to Paul's Paper Trail without too much fuss. I think it's mostly the big rock. The big rock on the end of the Dropout climb onto Paul's, where you really need to put the power down for a couple seconds just to get up it. That spot's tough. Only the more experienced riders get up that one. Here's a very late fall view that you get once you get to the top of the Paul's Paper Trail climb. You can actually see the highway over there. Normally with all the leaves in the trees you don't really see it too much, but you can today. It's so very gray. The last time I was here everything was red and it was beautiful. From here there's that sign down there. Off to the left is a pro line that I never thought would actually be pointed out, and that's what's known as the Sully Slide. I'm staying away from that today because if there's any ice on it at all I'm going to die. And to the right is Paul's Paper Trail, which is a black diamond, but I think as far as descents go, should probably be a double black here, just based on the other trails. But anyway, You'll probably see why. There's a lot of loose rock. Although it might be frozen right now, so this might be really quick. It's time to drop in. So it's not quite downhill yet. Gonna climb this rock. Now we start going down. This is where the fun begins. And where my eyes start to water because it's cold and there's a lot of airflow. Some not so muddy mud. Yeehaw! That's probably a couple seconds slower than I've done, but not bad for December. Trail runs great right now. I think double down. You come down North Shore, you take a right here. And enjoy the first true float trail that we've had. Got some nice berms. It's a little chewed up right now because of the frost, but it rides well. And you got the gentle berm into the mud hole. Brings you to the whale tail. Jump off the end. There's this little jump on the side to go over the log. Now we're on to Fuzzy. And that's that. Oh, there's a lot of mud on my tires. Yeah. There we go. That was a smooth landing. A little tweaked in the air, but I'll put some effort in this time. So this looks quicker. Yeah. Whew. It's starting to get dark, so I think I'm going to put the camera away, but that was a very, very last minute look at what went on in 2020.